So, people don't understand just how deep the problem is with Donald Trump. Here's another facet to his legal problems. I believe there's like 19 different lawsuits against Donald Trump right now. And so one of those has to do with the Panama Papers. Why is it called the Panama Papers? Well, there's a bank called the Global Bank in Panama. There's a Trump Tower in Panama City. And there was this president, I don't know if he's still president or not, President Martinelli, who, after some years of being a friend of Trump and allowing Trump to go down to Panama and launder money and do whatever, Martinelli became a billionaire. Like, seriously, somehow. And Donald Trump has a tower down there that somehow the condominiums keep getting sold. Like, for instance, one condominium will get sold to a Russian guy, and it'll be a cash transaction. And in that same year, the same condominium will be sold to a Chinese guy, and it'll be a cash transaction. So what they're finding out is that these condominiums were used to launder money, and that really probably nobody ever really truly owned them. They were just, paper transactions to justify the existence of money that shouldn't be there. But how does this tie in with the Bank of New York? Wow. Here's a shining example of why you should not trust the Bank of New York. There's a guy named Charles Austin who's the vice president at the corporate trust division of the Bank of New York. And when he decided, he saw that there was money laundering going on. He saw that this was going to happen. He said, I got to not let this happen. And he became a whistleblower. And Charles Austin was fired from the Bank of New York. He was forced out of the Bank of New York for being a whistleblower. He was forced out for not letting the money laundering happen. Okay? This is the guy at the corporate trust division within the Bank of New York trying to blow the whistle on a huge bunch of money laundering from Panama and the Global Bank. That's what it's called, the Global Bank. Whoa. Which was trying to launder money through the Bank of New York for Donald Trump, basically. Well, let's just say that. Because none of that would have happened if Donald Trump hadn't gone down there and helped Martinelli out and built a huge tower and laundered a bunch of money with a bunch of Russians and Chinese and whoever else. So now the Global Bank comes to the Bank of New York, says, hey, let's make deposits and blah, blah, blah. And this guy, Charles Austin, at the corporate trust division says no, blows a whistle. And the Bank of New York gets angry that they can't launder money, so they fire him. There's a lawsuit about that. You can look all this up. It's all online. That is just the most crazy thing. So if anybody has any doubt about the Bank of New York's will to do the right thing or the wrong thing, they had an employee that was trying to do the right thing, and they fired him. Whoa, what does that tell you? Where the Bank of New York's motivations is. So all these other lawsuits point to complete fraud and egregious behavior by the bank on a multiple level, multiple people, not just by one isolated person, isolated incident, but a pattern of egregious behavior and activity that's so blatant that they'll even fire an employee for blowing the whistle on it because they don't want it to stop. What's up with that? I wish somebody would reach out to me and explain that one to me. If I'm going to whistleblow, here, I'll go back to that other video I just made about telling the truth and how our societies lie to us when we're kids, tell the truth, and then but when we're older, they don't want us to tell the truth. Here's a perfect example of that. Poor Charles Austin. I wonder what he was told when he was a child. Huh. Go figure. Leopold Richard Bamberger Alavisa is reporting yet another incident of the Bank of New York trying to commit corruption and fraud and money laundering, but its own employee preventing them from doing that, so they have to fire him. Aww.